Greetings, pod fans. There's only 9 days until the start of the 11th Pod Vahida, the 10-year anniversary of the whole thing, and that's just wild to me. But anyway, let's talk about me. Recently, as a 29-year-old man, I've been learning to drive. Yes, I'm old, and yes, I've been putting this off for way too long. Why? Well, because I have never really had a need to drive. I've always lived near where I work. Buses exist. I'm lazy. Other reasons. But finally, with lockdown and, just life and wanting to be able to drive, I took the plunge and started learning. And I've discovered an entirely new type of worrying. Because it's worrying after the fact. I always thought that, I'd get on the road and the scariest part would be there are cars around, there's so many things, I'm in the car and I'm shaking behind the wheel, oh dear, spooky, spooky. But what I've learned is I'm really calm under those situations. I get a bit like, when something like unexpected or something just that, I haven't seen before happens. But generally I'm just cool, calm, collected, doing my thing, living my life. Chillin', as it were. But then, when I get home, when I've finished my little driving excursions, that is when I start worrying. It's just constant, what if that had happened? What if that one car had, pulled out? Or what if I hadn't gone, moved out enough and gone around it? Or what if those pedestrians had, just crossed and I didn't know what I was doing? It's terrible, because I can go through a perfect driving experience. I can go all over the place and do all the driving, and then hours later be sitting there thinking, but what if it wasn't okay? What if? It's the strangest thing in the world, because in my mind right now I'm like, yeah, I can drive, I can go places. When I'm driving, I'm like, I can drive, I can go places. And after, I'm like, oh my god, everyone could have died. I could have killed 30 people. I could have just smashed into everything. And it gives me so much anxiety. And the worst thing is, I'm there like, this already it's fine. It's fine. But what if it hadn't been fine? Has anyone ever experienced anything like that? You're totally calm in the moment, and everything's perfect. But then, as soon as you're done, you're like, okay, but what if it hadn't been fine? I don't understand it. It's freaking me out, dude. But yes, I'm learning to drive. I'm 29 years old, and, yeah, it's a weird issue. Seriously though, has anyone ever experienced anything similar to that? I guess it's it is a form of anxiety, and it's, just having things pop into your head that you're like, but what if this had happened? But yeah, it's just so strange that it's almost every time I finish being out for a drive, I'm like, well, that could have gone horribly. Maybe I'm just a pessimist. But yeah, this was, our 9-day countdown. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Slán.